It's one thing to have a bright idea and another to create a thriving business.
Now, student innovators have the chance to turn their dreams into a reality. Student entrepreneurs will pitch their ideas to a panel of experts for a chance to win funding. From tech startups to socially conscious ventures,
The time for affordable therapy is now.
these students are ready to impress with their vision.
But only one will walk away with the money to kickstart their venture. Join me as we uncover the next generation of trailblazers. This is Seed Money. Welcome to the heart of innovation, set among the historic beauty of UNC Chapel Hill. As an alum and entrepreneur myself, I actually came up with my business, Eats to Seats, right here on this campus. And today, we have a team of over 5,000. So I know a little bit about building a business from the ground up. Today, we're here to witness something truly special. We're on the brink of discovering the next wave of groundbreaking innovations, the kind that redefine industries and change lives. Education is a space for constant innovation. There is always a need for new improvements. Let's meet the teams.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
And we're Classmate. So I'm Andrew. I'm a sophomore at UNC, and I'm a computer science and business double major. So I'm from Cary, North Carolina, and I've kind of lived in North Carolina for around 18 years now. UNC is a pretty big name, pretty big school around here, and just like a lot of friends were coming here, so it felt like a good option. I just kind of enjoy like building things. That's kind of how I got into this sort of space.
My name's Daniel. I'm a business administration and entrepreneurship major. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and a lot of my siblings came here. And then I grew up a big UNC fan, so it's kind of the obvious choice to come here. I'm also interested in startups, and in my free time, I like working out and playing basketball.
I'm Bruce, sophomore at UNC, majoring in comp sci math, minor in data science. I'm also from Cary, grew up with a lot of state fans, so I kind of wanted to come here to spite them. But yeah, in my free time, like going to the gym and obviously liking full stack development and software engineering.
Daniel, we kind of just met. It was both through mutual friends, and I would just see him around at the gym. For Bruce, we met through mutual friends first, and then we had a class together at the same time, so it just kind of worked out. And then kind of with like the startup stuff, it kind of just fell together. Each person just came on at a different time. I personally think we should win because we're directly trying to impact our local community, and we're providing value to our local community. We're Team Classmate. Find your classes and connect with friends.
I'm Adam Canosa in Songcraft.
I was born in Winston-Salem, but I lived most of my life in Mount Airy, which is kind of on the border between North Carolina and Virginia. Came here to UNC for undergrad and started teaching immediately. And then I came back 2 years ago for my master's. So I'm just now completing that. I've been a public music teacher for 12 years. I have 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old. One of them is currently one of my 3rd graders at the school. One of them's coming into kindergarten next year. I'm pretty excited about. Actually training kids how to be prepared for a middle school band is definitely my favorite part. I stay in touch with a lot of my students who do go into middle school band or high school band and kind of follow their track all the way through. When COVID hit and we were at the classroom and my entire curriculum just kind of fell apart, I saw this opportunity in the fact that they had these personal devices. I'm an instrumentalist myself. I play a lot of different instruments. So I went home over a winter break and kind of conceived of, coded, crafted out this entire platform, and it worked really well. And so that's why I came back to UNC to learn more about how to scale the venture. I'm very relentlessly optimistic and self-motivated. Absolutely. If there's something I'm really interested in, I will spend a lot of time at it trying to make it exactly what I want. I think music education is extremely important, and so that's why I feel like we deserve to win. I'm Adam Canosa, and this is Songcraft.
I'm Max,
I'm Dylan.
and we are Play Parenthood.
I was actually born at UNC hospitals. I'm from Chapel Hill, so UNC's been a part of my life for my whole life. When I was deciding where to go for college, this just seemed like the right place for me, and I think I made the right decision.
I'm from a suburb of Charlotte. I came to UNC because, my family really wanted me to go there, and, it's a great school. Beyond that, though, I think that the campus itself plays a big role for me. I love just walking outside and seeing the greenery everywhere. I think it's, a really homey place to be for me, and it's a really comforting environment.
So it was the summer, the summer after junior year of high school. We both got selected for Governor's School, which is a gifted and talented program in North Carolina where it's just boarding away for a couple weeks during the summer. We got randomly assigned to be roommates together. And then after that, we both went off to our own independent high schools and then eventually decided that we would still be roommates when we went to UNC.
We moved in with all of our personal plants. I've kind of been surrounded by plants my entire life. I spent a lot of time on farms when I was little. Botany and plant life was just kind of there, and I guess this wasn't typical because as our friends filtered in and out of our room, they were like, whoa, these plants are so cool. Where did you get them? So we bought a bunch of plants, we started growing them under our bed, and then next thing you know, we're like out on the street selling plants to anyone who walks by, and we were a hit.
I really appreciate how willing Dylan is to just go for an idea. Whenever Dylan comes to me with something that he thinks is cool and he wants to do, he's committed to it and he's willing to just run with it.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Max.
And we are Planned Parenthood.
Now it's time to meet our judges. We have Bernard Bell, Executive Director of the UNC Shuford Program. Scott Maitland, Professor at the UNC Keenan-Flagler Business School and founding partner of UNC's brewery and restaurant of choice, Top of the Hill. Today's guest judge is Shamul Melwani, Associate Professor of Organizational Behavior, Sarah Graham Keenan Scholar, and Associate Dean of the Undergraduate Business Program, and my very first professor. We're so thrilled that all of you are here. Okay, contestants, you will be evaluated using the following 3 criteria. Overall idea, is it innovative? Is it disruptive? Is it sustainable? And is it scalable? Presentation, can you sell? Did you hook us? And lastly, of course, impact. What kind of impact will your innovation have on users and consumers? All right, guys, we're gonna send the other teams back to the holding room, and Classmate, you're gonna give us your pitch. Leading up to today's pitch, you had the chance to workshop your idea with Shamul Melwani, our guest judge. Let's check it out.
Do you want to jump in and tell me about it?
Originally, we just started this as like a way to sort of view and like sort of share our schedules with friends. So essentially we have like a platform and you can go to your friend's page, basically look at the schedule they'll be taking, so it's a lot easier to coordinate. But we also have like filters and stuff, so it just makes the whole process a lot easier.
So one suggestion I might have for you as you sort of come into this is often when we are presenting things to people, particularly in a short period of time, what we often do is we think a little bit about sort of really bombarding everyone with the facts. Really start by telling your story, because it's really stories that make us actually understand the problem and what is the hole that your idea is filling. And then the details of how you've gone about doing this is something that people can ask you more questions about, but really selling this in terms of how big it is and then also in terms of how sustainable it is.
With presenting, I guess, a story, would you think that like after we introduce the company and us just going into the problem side, we could introduce our story and the problem?
I would say that would be a really great way to get started so that people understand what motivated it, and then as a result can understand the sort of thousands, if not millions, of other students around the country who are dealing with a very similar type of issue and can see immediately the hole that it's filling. You have this amazing opportunity and you clearly are really passionate about the product that you've built. Show that, right? Go up there, have fun, really bring that piece of it too, because that's a really big part of telling your story, is also signaling your own energy and excitement around this project. I'm very, very excited to see this. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Flourish.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
We're Classmate, and we're changing the way the course registration is done. The problem we're looking to solve is that it's very annoying and tedious for students to look for courses that they want to take. They have a lot of different factors they have to consider: the courses, the professor, the gen requirements that it fulfills, the major requirements that it fulfills. And we've solved this by getting rid of that entire process and filtering the courses for them. And we kind of just created a dynamic social platform so that your schedule is automatically updated for your friends to see. Here are some pictures of what our platform looks like. As you can see here, there are the integrated professor information. It's very clear to see. There's this course schedule builder, and here are our custom class sections. So for recitations and other blocks that you need to add, we have that available as well.
So the educational technology market is pretty substantial, amounting to over $140 billion globally. And US colleges and universities spend over $16 billion a year in educational technology. And with the market we're targeting is the course registration market, which is over $1.5 million. And this consists of over 4,000 colleges and over 15 million college students. And nearly half of these students are first generation students, and they're naturally going to benefit more from our platform.
As you can see, we've had over 20,000 users, 4,000 signups, and over 25,000 social media followers. Thank you. And do you have any questions for us?
It looks like you're a social platform and a website, and you have 20,000 users already?
20,000 unique users.
So how have you all grown? And then the social platform, is that piece built out yet?
Yes. So currently we have a system that allows people to add their friends and view their schedules. And on top of that, we have a friend suggestion algorithm that basically calculates which mutual friends you have with a person, and it suggests like their profile to you. And on top of that, if you have a lot of unique overlap classes, it'll also suggest their profiles to you.
So you've got most of University of North Carolina students?
So we're also at 10 other universities. So there's multiple different schools that we have, but yes, our primary source of students is UNC.
Who's your main customer? Is it the student or is it the university?
How I see this is we're mainly trying to benefit the student. We can go through the university channels. That would be very ideal, I guess, for like monetary purposes, like sort of enterprise software sort of approach. But obviously, like our main purpose is to provide value to the students first and foremost. So we could either be B2B or B2C, but currently we're B2C.
So let's say you and I put together our thing, and then I try to sign up for Busy 500, the best class at the business school. And
Teaches it.
Scott Maitland in the spring, he's pretty awesome. And you get it, but I don't. Are we automatically notifying your buddy, hey, I'm out?
We're basically just providing like a place where you can plan your schedule. Right. But something we will ideally be doing is there is like a way we can like sort of update if a class is closed, which we're looking at building out. It's true, yeah, like you could just kind of send your schedule to your friend, but we're just kind of shortening the entire process.
So what would you do with the seed money?
We've noticed that it's very difficult to sort of get like a physical presence on each campus once you start scaling out. So finding ambassadors, getting people to like set up like stands. Also, we want to do like sort of like I mentioned, a class suggestion algorithm that just makes it easier to like kind of gives the classes to you instead of you manually going out and looking for them.
That's great. Nice job. Nice job.
Amazing work, Classmate. That was incredible. We're gonna have you go join the other teams, and Adam and Songcraft will join us next. Welcome, Adam. How are we feeling?
Feeling great.
Before you start, we're gonna get a glimpse at your working lunch with Shamul Melwani, our guest judge today.
I'm just working on my pitch here.
I'm really excited to hear a little bit about it.
I shouldn't say I'm nervous because as a musician, I feel like I've been on stage for, decades. Pitching is definitely a little different. It's really, really challenging, to fit so many years of work into 2.5 minutes.
Think of it as a conversation, not as, something where you have to sort of say the perfect thing at the perfect time. There will be lots of opportunities for people to ask you questions. So you could rephrase that anxiety as anticipation or excitement. That's, I really think, what, the judges are going to look for.
I'm always curious about the percentage of how much I say should be scripted versus not, and how maybe you've dealt with that in your experience.
I'd sort of land in the middle on that one. As a teacher, you're bringing all of the skills that sometimes other people take years to develop. And so you already have that ability to command a room, to be able to like really think about the points you want to make and how you can say them based on how you're feeling in the moment, how you're reading the room. But I also think it is sometimes nice to have a little bit of the scripting done because it takes away some of that anxiety when you walk into a space. One of the things I always like to tell people is know your first slide really well. And then you just leaned into the space a little bit and you've gotten comfortable. And then you can improvise based on how you're feeling and how the judges are looking at you as well.
Thank you so much. That was so very helpful. Good afternoon, judges. My name is Adam Canosa. I've been a public school music educator for the last 12 years. I'm also the founder and CEO of Algorithmic Labs. Our tool Songcraft is a game-based blended learning platform designed to enable rapid, individualized practice in a classroom setting, saving time and money for teachers. You can think about this kind of like Guitar Hero, but with actual music theory and teaching real translatable skills. So in K-5 music education, we have teachers that are spending decades of their careers and thousands of dollars building out expensive instrument ensembles, which students might touch for ultimately 20 minutes per week. Independent practice is impossible in a classroom setting. Most kids won't or sometimes can't practice in a home setting. At the time where other educational subjects are using technologies to build out equitable, accessible, exciting, engaging learning experiences, music is lagged behind and we're still kind of stuck in the recorder days. Our tool provides a novel means of teaching and assessing music literacy content by allowing the students to use their personal device as their pitched instrument to be played in a classroom setting with their peers, or also practiced on independently with headphones in a class setting. As students play, their play data is stored and viewable by the teacher, saving hours of instructional time that's typically lost to this kind of assessment. While we are still pre-revenue, we've had an exciting year of traction. From the humble beginnings of me prototyping with my own students at my school, we have now grown our user base to 10 schools that are piloting around the country and in Canada, with 1,500 learners that are actively play testing and providing us with feedback. It's about a $31 million market opportunity in the schools, which we're hoping to go after so that we can raise our visibility and validate our method before releasing a follow-on product that will be aimed at the home learning market. Thank you so much for your time, and I welcome any questions.
When you said 31 million, the market opportunity is 31 million, is that the total addressable market? Because I also saw a 1.1 billion number up there.
So 31 million is pretty much the total addressable within our particular market, within US public schools.
Just K through 5.
K through 5.
Okay, all right.
And then the broader term would be more for global music education apps, that market.
So Songcraft is not teaching them how to play an instrument. It's teaching them the theory behind music.
As silly as that might sound, it is what we do in elementary music anyway. We teach them a recorder knowing that they're going to go into middle school and have to transfer those skills to a more traditional analog instrument like a clarinet. What we're doing here is we're leveraging the technology to provide rapid practice of music literacy and theory that then gets translated.
Have you thought a little bit about how teachers or parents would react to sort of more screen time, right? So this is a big sort of issue as we're talking about schooling overall, which is in the day-to-day classroom, children are on iPads or on computers for almost all of their other learning, and specials, right? Art, music, PE are the few times that they disconnect from that. So just what would your argument be?
I get it's screen time, but it doesn't feel like any more screen time than just staring at a sheet music sheet on a stand. It's not in their face screaming, it's not video, it's extremely embodied learning. They're actively playing along and essentially looking at a dynamic sheet music instead of a video or something like that, which is what a lot of the competition is, which are these digital curriculums that are just put this video of this song up in front of the kids.
We're talking about the kids having devices and the screen time. Are we assuming the school is providing these devices? Are we assuming these are individually owned devices? How are you navigating this landscape?
So we are at a very timely moment. There has been a massive influx of personalized devices, funding to make sure that students have individualized devices. It actually sometimes is less expensive or more guaranteed that a kid would have a device than there would be funding to purchase recorders for an entire school of kids. Just the way the money is,
Right.
Just the way the money flows.
pots
It's
of
easier to
money.
put a device in front of a kid now than it is to give them this recorder.
So what would you do with the seed money? How would you use it?
With the seed money, we would build out the MVP. Currently on the website, there isn't a way to actually purchase it. We've been arranging all these pilots just through our personal connections and interactions. I'm receiving texts from my pilot schools as I'm teaching some days, troubleshooting certain things. And so actually trying to put some work into generating some onboarding materials for these pilots, for these would-be eventual customers, so that they don't really need us to be able to implement the tool.
Nice. Nice. Great.
Thank you, Adam. We're gonna have you head back to the holding room.
Thank you so much.
Next up is Plant Parenthood. Let's see how you utilized your time with our guest judge, Shmuel.
Now, this is our first time in a pitch competition, and we kind of just went based off of what we found on the internet. And, it's not bad, but we think it could use some work.
What is the most important stuff to mention versus what is maybe less important?
Telling your story is a really key part of walking into that space. Sharing your passion, sharing your excitement, telling the judges why the two of you are together, what brought you together, particularly beyond just that you love plants, what about that?
Right.
It's really important because people are investing in people at the end of the day, not just ideas.
Sure. I think that since we're new to this, we sort of felt a need to be more analytical and data driven and really conform to the standard business pitch. But maybe it's time to go more honest and more towards our story.
Yeah, little soft skills.
Yeah, and soft skills always win. You can certainly transition and move to your data and move to your analytics because I think it's important to show both pieces of it. But if you're not showing your excitement and people don't see why this matters to you, it's hard for a judge to then say okay, this is the person I really want to invest in. You can always answer those questions if you've done the data. That's a really big part of this too, is not just what you say, but how you handle that second piece of the questions and answers that are going to come your way.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's great.
My advice to you is just bring yourselves tomorrow. Your personalities are really engaging. Have a lot of fun with it. Enjoy talking with the judges, and I can't wait to see it.
Okay, so much.
Of course, thank you.
Hello, judges. I'm Max.
And I'm Dylan.
And we are
Plant Parenthood. Now, Max and I met freshman year in college, and we were roommates. And we discovered that we both loved plants, and so did the people around us. So we wanted to share this love with our community.
I don't know if you guys have ever lived in dorms, but as you may know, empty cinder block dorms suck. What you might not know is that these aesthetic crimes have real tangible effects on students' mental health, their productivity, and their stress levels. We think that plants can help by bringing beauty into dorms, by cleaning dorm air, and by helping to improve student wellness.
Now, we know that college students are busy, broke, and bored of their dorms. So we've curated a line of plants that are robust, affordable, and stylish for these students. Now, currently, we're operating
on UNC campus. And UNC campus has roughly 30,000 students. Roughly 9 of those 30,000 live on campus. And we have a new freshman class of about 5,000 every single year. This is a vibrant market. And we do have competitors, however, they're not reaching the students. Our main competitors are local florists and local nurseries. These bodies either create plants that will not thrive in dorm environments or that are too expensive and out of the price range.
We've learned that sustainable production is profitable. By using recycled and reused containers for our plants, we've been able to keep production costs low and translate those low production costs into low costs for our consumers. We've also been able to maintain an average profit margin of 70% with this strategy. So far, only this quarter, we've sold almost 80 plants, we've made more than $1,000 in revenue, and we've obtained more than $8,000 in startup grants. We've also gotten coverage from the Daily Tar Heel, our campus newspaper, and we've been invited to many campus events and markets to help share our plants with the student body.
Planned Parenthood in the future is very optimistic. Our plans revolve purely around scale. Our overarching goal is to create a template of Planned Parenthood stores that can operate in a hub of colleges. Once we have this template down, we want to make it easily replicatable so we can move to different geographical locations within the US. This entails a lot of different moving parts, of which the most important are developing an online store, establishing supplier relationships to further drive down cost of production, and starting an aggressive marketing campaign so that one day we can see plant parents in every college across the United States.
Thanks so much. We'll take questions if you have any.
First of all, novel idea. I think one concern I have is the scalability. And you said you sold 80 plants, made $1,000.
I think that right now we're seeing our on-campus selling as a manifestation of a model that can work in other spaces. So marketing to college students with sustainably sourced, robust, and beautiful plants. And I think that that can work even if we need to change our model a little bit while we scale to make things more uniform and a little bit less human capital intensive. Like I said, this is just one form of an idea that we think has real potential to expand even further.
What other communities do you think would be a good fit for this strategy?
As we expand and we move forward, maybe young professionals are a good group to market to. I think that the want for houseplants in spaces is increasing. I think we've seen that, and we're hoping to cater to that increasing demand.
You talked about the fact that your competitors are sort of local florists. How are you sort of marketing yourself as different?
So we have like this sort of edgy marketing campaign that takes form through like social media, so like Snapchat and Instagram, through merchandise like our promotional stickers, and then also through posters that we hang up around campus. And the posters have really been successful. Yeah. They have like fun, quirky little titles that really draw people in to scan the QR code and know when our next sale is coming up.
So what would y'all do with this seed money? No pun intended.
I think that we would start to try to figure out ways to scale our business. I want to get more feedback from people who've done this before, experts like you all, who can help us make the next step and move to different places and learn how we can make what's working really well here work really well in different places and spaces.
Nice job. Nice.
Thank you, Dylan and Max. Please join the other teams in the holding room.
Thank you.
Are you all ready to deliberate?
I think so, yeah.
My first thought was that Classmate was not built out. I mean, I think the premise is good, but it felt like they haven't thought of all the components.
I was surprised at the number of users they had and the fact that they're on 10 campuses. So I expected them to say, oh, we got 12 users or something.
Yes.
So I saw their product, and it actually works, because when I did the guest judging mentorship with them yesterday, they walked me through it. So it exists.
Okay.
But I wish they had shown it to us more, or maybe walked us through that a little bit. I think that would have definitely made a difference.
Going to Songcraft, I thought that pitch hit all the right notes.
But seriously, right?
I mean, here is somebody that's immersed in the space, and as my experience, that's some of the best companies, that's some of the best tech. I mean, I do feel like it's scalable.
No, again, no pun intended.
No pun. I didn't even get that one.
Caught with this one, as we think about sort of the growth of it, is just how much still needs to happen, right? It's not just going to the schools. Now you need troubleshooters, you need the tech behind it. It's not just a single product. The product needs to keep getting updated. What happens if it fails in the middle of class?
But I think that one has a big impact on the Planned Parenthood. It's not a bad idea.
It kind of grows on you.
Very good. Very good. Let me ask you, is it innovative? Was it disruptive? It's impactful, right? Mental health.
I think the innovation is the name.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds silly, but that name catches everybody, right?
As somebody who has no green thumb, I would love to learn how to be a better plant parent. There are other things I think this could extend to, just in its current form. It's just based on the two of them.
But it's sustainable, right? It could be impactful.
Their presentation was good.
I thought I
Right? I mean, yeah. I mean,
and
they
it's
can-
clear
they
that
can sell.
they are passionate about
They're
it.
passionate. They can sell.
So I think I know. I think I know.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, judges, do we have a winner?
We do. We do.
We did.
All right, let's bring out the teams. Welcome back, everyone. Judges, any final thoughts before we announce the winner?
Just great job. Great pitching. I thought y'all did a fantastic job.
Each one of you have a very fun and interesting concept.
And your energy was just amazing. It's so clear that you're all so passionate about your ideas, and we were just so grateful to be a part of it today.
The winner of this week's seed money Adam from Songcraft.
I'm super excited. Any income is a world of difference, and so this will really allow us to keep pushing for pretty much the next year to get closer to a point where we can actually be on the market. I'm mostly excited to go back to school tomorrow and tell my students they are part of Songcraft. Their playtesting, their hours spent practicing has given me the motivation to continue trying to build this and continues to inspire me.